Have you ever wondered why some folks seem to sail past their 82nd birthday full of life, while others sadly don't reach that milestone? It's a question many of us ponder as the years go by. You might think it's all down to luck or genes, but what if I told you that some of the most common, everyday habits, things you might be doing right now without a second thought, could be quietly stacking the odds against you? We're not talking about rare diseases or unavoidable accidents. We're talking about subtle, often overlooked patterns of living that can unfortunately shorten our precious time. In the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on these critical mistakes. We'll explore exactly what these habits are, why they pose such a significant risk to those of us who want to live long, healthy lives well into our 80s and beyond, and most importantly, what you can do starting today to steer clear of these pitfalls. This isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. It's about understanding so you can take control. If you've ever hoped to not just see your 82nd birthday, but to dance right past it with energy and joy, then this conversation is one you absolutely need to hear. If you find yourself nodding along, or if any of this resonates with you today, we'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to like this video. It truly helps us reach and support more people just like you. And please consider subscribing to our channel and clicking that notification bell. We're dedicated to bringing you information that matters for a vibrant later life, and we wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Perhaps most importantly, we genuinely want to hear from you. Your experiences, your wisdom, your questions, they are invaluable. So please share your thoughts in the comments section below. It's a wonderful way for us all to learn and grow together. All right, let's talk about the first thing that might be holding many back without them even realizing it: consistently ignoring what your body is trying to tell you. As we gather more years, it's easy to dismiss new aches, persistent fatigue, or subtle changes in our health as just a normal part of getting older. We might say, "Oh, it's just my arthritis acting up," or "I'm always a bit tired these days." But this is a dangerous path. Your body has an incredible way of signaling when something isn't right, and these signals are not to be taken lightly, especially now. That nagging pain in your shoulder might not just be a stiff joint, it could be a sign of something more. That shortness of breath you experience after climbing the stairs could be more than just being out of shape. Ignoring these signs, pushing through discomfort, or self-diagnosing can lead to conditions that were once manageable becoming far more serious. Think about Margaret, a lovely woman I knew who was always so active in her community garden. She started noticing a persistent cough and feeling unusually winded. Her friends told her it was probably just a seasonal allergy, and for a while, she believed them. She'd say, "Oh, it'll pass." But it didn't. By the time she finally saw a doctor, what might have been a treatable respiratory infection had progressed into something that significantly impacted her quality of life and, tragically, its length. Her story is a poignant reminder: your body whispers before it shouts. Those early whispers, a new pain, a change in sleep patterns, unexplained weight loss or gain, dizziness, a shift in your digestion, these are your body's requests for attention. Seeking timely medical advice isn't a sign of weakness. It's a profound act of self-care and wisdom. It's about partnering with your healthcare provider to ensure you're addressing small issues before they become life-altering ones. Don't let the fear of what you might find out, or the idea that it's just age, prevent you from taking that crucial step. The second habit that can unknowingly shorten a vibrant life is gradually surrendering to a sedentary lifestyle. It often happens subtly. Maybe you start avoiding stairs, telling yourself the elevator is just more convenient. Perhaps you give up your morning walk because the weather isn't perfect, or you find yourself spending more and more hours in your favorite armchair, engrossed in television or a good book. While rest is important and hobbies that bring you joy are vital, a consistent lack of physical movement is one of the surest ways to accelerate aging and increase vulnerability to a host of health problems. Our bodies are designed to move, regardless of our age. When we stop moving regularly, our muscles weaken. A condition known as sarcopenia, Our bones can become more brittle, circulation can suffer, and our metabolism slows down. This isn't just about not being able to lift heavy things. It's about losing the strength to perform everyday tasks, to maintain balance, and to recover from minor illnesses. I remember my friend Arthur, a retired history professor. He loved to read and would spend days immersed in his books. He joked that his armchair was his command center. But over a few years, I noticed he was getting up less, walking with more difficulty, and he seemed to tire so easily. He'd started to believe that because he was in his late 70s, his active days were naturally behind him. Took a serious conversation with his doctor after a minor fall to make him realize that his inactivity. It was the primary culprit, not his age. He started small, with just a 5-minute walk around his living room, then his yard, and eventually, he rejoined his local walking group. The change was remarkable. His energy returned, his mood lifted, and he even said his mind felt sharper. The saying, "move it or lose it," isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a biological truth. This doesn't mean you need to start training for a marathon. Gentle, consistent movement like walking, tai chi, swimming, or chair exercises can make a world of difference. It's about keeping your joints lubricated, your muscles engaged, and your heart healthy. If you find yourself choosing to sit when you could be moving, ask yourself why. If it's pain, talk to your doctor. If it's motivation, find a friend to join you or set small, achievable goals. Don't let inactivity quietly steal your years. Another critical area, and this one often tugs at the heartstrings, is allowing social connections to wither. As we age, our social circles can naturally change. Friends may move away, pass on, or health issues might limit their ability to connect as they once did. Family members with their own busy lives, careers, and children might not be as available as they used to be. It's a reality of life, but when we don't actively work to counteract the shrinkage, the resulting isolation can be profoundly damaging, not just emotionally, but physically too. Loneliness has been linked to an increased risk of heart disease, dementia, depression, and a shorter lifespan. Human beings are wired for connection. We thrive on shared experiences, laughter, support, and a sense of belonging. When these connections diminish and we find ourselves spending more and more time alone, it can create a void that impacts our overall well-being. Consider Eleanor, who lived in my old neighborhood. After her husband passed, she became increasingly reclusive. Her children lived out of state, and she slowly stopped attending her bridge club and church gatherings. She told me once, "It's just easier to be at home." But easier came at a cost. She seemed to lose her spark, her conversations became less frequent, and her world felt smaller. Her health began to decline in ways that weren't just about physical ailments. It was as if her spirit was dimming. This isn't to say that enjoying solitude is a problem. Quiet time can be wonderful. But there's a difference between choosing solitude and being forced into isolation by circumstance or a lack of effort. If you've noticed your phone ringing less, your calendar emptier, or that you're declining more invitations than you accept, it might be time to actively nurture your social life. This could mean reaching out to an old friend, joining a senior center, volunteering, taking a class, or even engaging with an online community. It takes courage to put yourself out there, especially if you've been out of the social loop for a while. But the rewards, renewed connections, a sense of purpose, and the joy of shared moments are immeasurable. Don't let your social world fade away by default. It's a lifeline to vitality. Let's move on to something that often goes hand in hand with social engagement: maintaining a sense of purpose and a willingness to learn. Sometimes, after retirement or when physical limitations arise, it's easy to feel like your most significant contributions are behind you, or that there's nothing new left to discover. This mindset, the idea that my work is done or I'm too old to learn that, can be surprisingly detrimental. A life without purpose or ongoing engagement can lead to a decline in cognitive function and overall zest for life. Our brains, much like our muscles, drive on use and challenge. When we stop learning, Stop being curious or stop feeling like we have something to offer. Our mental acuity can begin to dull. It's not about holding a job, it's about finding meaning in your days. I recall a gentleman named Samuel who had been a skilled carpenter his whole life. When arthritis made his hands too stiff for woodworking, he felt a profound sense of loss. What good am I now? He'd often wonder. For a while, he seemed adrift. But then, his granddaughter asked him to help her build a birdhouse for a school project. He couldn't do the intricate work anymore, but he could guide her, share his knowledge, and watch her learn. This small act reignited something in him. He started mentoring young people at a local community workshop, sharing his decades of experience. He found a new way to contribute a new purpose. His mood improved, he seemed more energetic, and he often said that teaching those kids was as fulfilling as any piece of furniture he'd ever built. Whether it's mentoring, volunteering, taking up a new hobby, learning a language, joining a discussion group, or even just passionately tending a garden, having something that makes you want to get up in the morning is crucial. It keeps your mind active, provides a sense of accomplishment, and often connects you with others. If you feel a sense of aimlessness creeping in, or if you've stopped seeking out new experiences, gently challenge that. The world is full of things to learn and ways to contribute, regardless of your age or physical abilities. Don't let the belief that it's too late rob you of the joy of discovery and the fulfillment of purpose. Now, let's talk about something that fuels our bodies and minds, or can unfortunately harm them, our nutritional habits. As the years pass, it's not uncommon for eating habits to change. Perhaps cooking feels more like a chore, or your appetite isn't what it used to be. Maybe you find yourself reaching for more convenience foods, sugary snacks, or simply not paying as much attention to balanced nutrition. However, what you eat has a direct and profound impact on your energy levels, your immune system, your cognitive function, and your ability to resist age-related diseases. Consistently making poor nutritional choices is a habit that can significantly shorten a healthy lifespan. Think about it. Our bodies are constantly rebuilding and repairing. The nutrients we consume are the raw materials for this process. If you're not providing high-quality materials, the structures will weaken. This means more than just avoiding obviously unhealthy foods. It also means ensuring you're getting enough of the good stuff: lean protein to maintain muscle mass, fiber for digestive health, healthy fats for brain function, and a wide array of vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables. I knew a couple, Bill and Mary. Bill had always been a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and Mary, while she tried to cook healthy, often found it easier to prepare what Bill preferred, especially as they got older and cooking for two felt like more effort. They increasingly relied on processed meals, sugary cereals for breakfast, and sweets in the evening. Over time, both of them gained weight, felt more lethargic, and started experiencing more health issues. It wasn't a sudden decline, but a slow, steady erosion of their vitality, largely fueled by their diet. After a health scare, they worked with a nutritionist who helped them incorporate more whole foods, fresh vegetables, and lean proteins into their meals. The difference was astonishing. They both lost weight, had more energy, and even said their joint pain lessened. Eating well in our later years isn't about restrictive dieting. It's about nourishing your body with the building blocks it needs to thrive. This might mean planning your meals, learning simple and healthy recipes, or even using a meal delivery service if cooking is a challenge. Don't underestimate the power of food. It can be your medicine or your slow poison. Choose wisely and don't let poor nutritional habits diminish the quality or length of your life. Another crucial, yet often neglected habit is the tendency to dwell on negativity, regrets, or unresolved conflicts. Holding on to bitterness, anger, or sorrow from the past can cast a long shadow over your present and future, impacting not just your mental and emotional health, but your physical health as well. Chronic stress, which can arise from constantly replaying negative thoughts or grievances, has been shown to weaken the immune system, increase blood pressure, and contribute to heart disease. Life inevitably brings challenges, losses, and moments we wish we could do over. It's part of the human experience. Do you want to spend your precious time relitigating the past? Or do you want to find peace and joy in the present? Activities like mindfulness, meditation, spending time in nature, engaging in hobbies that bring you pleasure, or connecting with supportive but allowing these past events or negative outlooks to dominate your inner world is a habit that can truly diminish your capacity for joy and even shorten your life. Think of someone who constantly complains, sees the worst in every situation, or can't let go of an old grudge. Their world often becomes a reflection of that negativity. They may alienate others, miss out on present joys because they're too focused on past hurts, and live in a state of perpetual agitation. This chronic emotional burden takes a toll. I remember an acquaintance, Frank, who was consumed by regret over a business decision he'd made decades earlier. He replayed it constantly, talking about what he should have done. This regret colored everything in his life. He was often irritable, found little joy in his accomplishments, and seemed to carry a heavy weight. It was clear that this unresolved burden was affecting his happiness and, likely, his health. On the other hand, learning to practice forgiveness for others and for yourself, cultivating gratitude for what you have, and focusing on the positive aspects of your life can be incredibly healing and life-extending. This isn't about ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to focus your energy. People can all help shift your mindset. Letting go of negativity is an active choice, a habit you can cultivate. It might not be easy, especially if you've carried these burdens for a long time, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your well-being and longevity. Don't let the habit of negativity steal the preciousness of your remaining years. Finally, and this is something that many of us might not even consider a habit, is neglecting proactive health management, especially when it comes to medications and doctors' advice. As we age, it's common to have one or more chronic conditions that require ongoing medical attention and medication. However, mismanaging these medications, whether it's skipping doses, taking the wrong amount, not understanding interactions, or not following your doctor's lifestyle recommendations, can have dire consequences. This isn't just about forgetting a pill now and then, it's about a pattern of inconsistency or of failure to fully engage with your own healthcare plan. I once knew a gentleman, a very intelligent man, who had been prescribed medication for high blood pressure. He'd take it for a while, then, feeling fine, decide he didn't need it anymore, or he'd forget to get his prescription refilled on time. He believed he could manage his condition through diet alone, despite his doctor's advice. Unfortunately, this inconsistent approach led to a stroke that severely impacted his mobility and independence. His story is a stark reminder that medications are prescribed for a reason, and adhering to your doctor's treatment plan is not optional if you want to manage chronic conditions effectively and live a longer, healthier life. This also includes attending regular checkups, getting recommended screenings, and being an active participant in your healthcare decisions. Ask questions, understand your conditions and treatments, and report any new or worsening symptoms promptly. Being proactive about your health, working as a team with your healthcare providers, and diligently following through on their advice are habits that can literally save your life and extend it. Don't let neglect or a passive approach to your healthcare be the reason you don't reach your full potential for a long and vibrant life. So, as we've explored these habits, from ignoring your body's signals and becoming too sedentary, to letting social connections fade, losing purpose, making poor nutritional choices, dwelling on negativity, and neglecting proactive health management. It's clear that the way we live our daily lives has a profound impact on how long and how well we live, especially past the age of 82. These aren't meant to be rules set in stone that cause anxiety, but rather areas for thoughtful reflection and gentle adjustment. It's never too late to make small changes, to adopt new habits that can lead to a healthier, happier, and potentially longer life. The power to shape your future years lies largely within your hands. Think about which of these areas might apply to you and consider what one small step you could take today. Your future self will thank you.